Monster Patrol in the lead with 90. Right behind him, Bigfoot with 87. Looking back now at the Chicago style finals from round number 4, it was Dragon Slayer against Monster Moose. Monster Moose making his second appearance in the finals. So Monster Moose, Brad Campbell, a rookie in racing, going up against a veteran, the Dragon Slayer, CHRISTENSEN. Here's the start. Christensen getting a good start out in front. Oh, a problem with the Monster Moose. Campbell turns the rear wheels the wrong way. The crowd can't believe it. It is Christensen all the way, and a rookie mistake by young Mr. Campbell. A tough break with his family down from Washington to watch him here tonight. So the tough country suspension, Dragon Slayer takes the checkered flag. And Monster Moose limps back to the pits. A tough break for Brad Campbell. Standing, Chicago's bound. Bigfoot, 95 the leader. Dragon Slayer second with 87. Monster Moose, 65. Not too bad after round number 4. In freestyle competition, taking his first win ever was Paul Jensen in Spider-Man. Now, freestyle means the trucks can come out and do whatever they want. The only vehicle on the track for 90 seconds, and the crowd determines the winner. Let's go now to round number 5, and this is qualifier number 1 of the straight line drags. Dragon Slayer against number 29, Kevin HARVICK. And there's a look from the bottom, the suspension of Dragon Slayer. Look at the track as the tough country Hummer lines up to go up against young Amber Skywalker. There she is in the number 29 Kevin HARVICK Kid Rock truck. That's a 2,000 horsepower Hemi-powered Chevrolet driven by young Amber Skywalker, 23 years old. Here's the first qualifier, the straight line drags. Amber gets a good start, comes down hard, shakes the ground. So Dragon Slayer in qualifying edges Amber with a 3.224 versus 3.369 for the Kevin HARVICK truck. Let's take a look at the suspension-mounted camera on the Dragon Slayer and look at the beating they take. And speaking of a beating, look at Amber Skywalker gets slammed. G-forces there, slam her all over the inside of that machine. A little bit higher for Kid Rock, number 29. That may have been the reason she is slightly slower. Going now to qualifier number 2, Spider-Man against Bigfoot. Paul Jensen out of Utah against Dan Runty out of St. Louis, Missouri, and the Bigfoot truck, the Bigfoot Ford. So Spider-Man going up against Dan Runty as they get set. There's a look at Runty at the inside of that Ford out of St. Louis, Missouri. Here's the start. Bigfoot closest to you. And on the other side, that is Spider-Man, Paul Jensen. So Bigfoot gets a beautiful launch, comes down first and slams on the binder. So Bigfoot, a 3.162 against Spider-Man's 3.239. That means Bigfoot so far is the fastest qualifier. There's a look at Dan Runny handling that monster Ford. Going over and no problems at all. Let's take another look at the start from our ground camera. There's Spider-Man. No real problems. It's just Dan Runny read those lights a little bit more, a little bit better. Another look at it. And it's Bigfoot in the foreground taking it. We go now to the Monster Moose, qualifier number 3 against Monster Patrol. That's Monster Moose with Brad Campbell. Beautiful paint job on that truck. Brad Campbell looking at the inside of that big truck. Looks over at the starting line, going up against Monster Patrol. Monster Patrol on the right. The Moose the Moose he was incredible for 3 feet. Then it was all over. And Monster Patrol, Paul Schaefer takes it with a 3.373 clocking. Monster Moose, a DNF. And he gets out of the truck to figure out what is wrong here. He got about 3 feet, and that was it. Again, one more time, looking at Brad Campbell as he looks out at the starting lights, slams it on, and says, what the heck happened here? Oh, that's a tough one. Got his family down from Washington watching. Watch it start again. Again, Schaefer, absolutely flawless, gets up and over. Not a real fast time, but he didn't have to have a real fast time. Qualifying results, Bigfoot, 3.162. Dragon Slayer, second. Spider-Man, third. And Kevin HARVICK, 3.369 in fourth. Monster Patrol, fifth. And Monster Moose did not start. And we go to heat race number 1. Monster Patrol versus Amber Skywalker in the Kevin HARVICK, number 29 Kid Rock truck. That's a mouthful, I'll tell you. And both these trucks are owned by Paul Schaefer, so it's the boss versus the employee. And there's Amber Skywalker. Straight line drag. The officials walk back, and as soon as they walk away, there's the start. And it looks like Monster Patrol gets up and over a little bit faster. Yes, Monster Patrol 3.324. Kevin Harvick 3.370 right behind him. Let's take a look back. There's an in-cab camera shot of Amber. And look at the pummeling she takes. She's throwing all over the place. Now, Amber on the left, watch it now, hits a little more air. And in this case, it is not a good idea because Schaefer gets down to the ground faster. One more time, Amber on the left, Schaefer on the right, and Schaefer gets down to the ground, and that's what makes the difference in this heat race number 1. Going now to BIGFOOT against the Monster Moose. Now, the Monster Moose had a problem when he came out for qualifying. He broke. Let's see what happens now with Campbell. There's Brad Campbell going up against Dan Runty, the seasoned, wily veteran of BIGFOOT, the Ford truck competition. That's a good look at Runty. The officials walk back. We're ready to go. Monster Moose on the left. The yellow machine gets up and over. Not bad. But it looks like BIGFOOT takes it with a 3.153. The Moose 3.398. One more look at it. Runty, he's so hard to beat. He's just got incredibly fast reflexes. Now look at this. It just gets up and over. He gets down to the ground and slams on the binder. A look inside of the BIGFOOT truck. Runty does not get thrown around as much as Amber Skywalker. There's a look at Brad Campbell. Campbell getting all over the place. Like a sailor on a 3-day pass. Coming up next, Spider-Man takes on Dragon Slayer. Round 5 from SELLAND Arena of Monsters of Destruction. Monsters of Destruction, brought to you by Amerigas, America's propane company. And MonsterTruckStore.com, your online source for monster truck merchandise. And Cruisin' Tees, the best in motorsport silk screening. Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Huffman. Round number 5 from SELLAND Arena. Coming up, heat number 3, Spider-Man versus Dragon Slayer. An interesting father-stepson combination here because Craig Christensen, the driver of Dragon Slayer, is the stepfather of Paul Jensen in Spider-Man. How do you get into monster truck racing? Well, we had a chance earlier to talk to Jensen and ask how he got started in this business.
One of my best friends in high school was, which is my stepdad now, KREG's son, so I started going to his shop and learned about monster trucks and worked on them a little bit. And then story has it that he married my mom a few years later, and I started crewing. I crewed for probably about 2 years, and then one day I got to drive and didn't get any practice. Went out my first show in front of people. Still have never practiced since. Every time I've drove, it's been at a show. So.
Yeah, Paul's a great driver. He does an awesome job in the truck. He has good hand-eye coordination and knows where the truck is at all times. And any one of us can win that freestyle deal.
I have a harder time racing him than anybody, I think, just because pretty much everything I know he taught me. And you know, I start thinking before the show, well, golly, he knows we're racing, you know. Did he do something to my truck? You know what I mean? Which he never does, but it just runs through my mind. So he's always trying to find a shorter way. We're on our way to Enumclaw, Washington, I believe. And, oh, well, this road right here, you know, it's going to cut an hour off our time. Well, it's like in the middle of the summer, and before you know it, we're in snow and at the top of a national forest, and a semi with a 53-foot trailer taking both sides of the road.
We have 7 children between the 2 of us, and that's hers and mine, and that all of them are involved one way or another. All of the boys drive. We have 5 boys and 2 girls. One daughter lives up by her mom, so she's not involved as much as we'd like, but the other daughter drives a little bit here and there. My wife drives. All of the boys except the youngest drives. He's only 15, and we'll let him drive one of the cars around the house, and he drove through the garage door, so he's kind of on suspension right now before we let him drive a monster truck, but he'll be in it pretty soon. And we try to operate the whole family as a team. If one wins, we both win, so we'll take it however we get it.
We go now to heat number 3 in the straight line drags, and there is Spider-Man against Dragon Slayer, and it looks like Jensen may have edged him. Yes, indeed. It was Spider-Man 3.171. His stepfather a 100th of a second behind him. Another look at it. Dragon Slayer on this side of the screen. Another look. There was Spider-Man on the other side. Gets down just a hair earlier and takes home the victory. Coming up next, semi number 1, it'll be Monster Patrol versus Bigfoot. This is going to be an incredible race. Don't go away, don't touch that dial. We'll be back from SELLAND Arena. 5 of the Monsters of Destruction action. We go to semis. This is semi number 1. This will bring out Monster Patrol against this guy, Bigfoot. Monster Patrol putting out about 500 more horsepower than the big Ford of Dan Runte. Let's see if that's a factor in this event. They've got a longer wheelbase. There it is. That's Monster Patrol. Paul Schaefer, the only monster truck with a wing, which makes no sense whatsoever, but it looks good. It gives us a place to put our camera. There's Runte, inside look of the Bigfoot cab. Here's the start. Bigfoot on the right, Monster Patrol on the left. And Runte gets the traction and goes over the cars a little bit faster. 3.068 for Bigfoot. Right behind him, Monster Patrol, 3.228. Let's take another look at it. Runte inside. Gets thrown around a little bit. Notice the cervical collar he's wearing underneath his helmet. That's because of the tremendous beating their spines take when they land. Look at him going over the car, staying a little bit lower, getting good traction. The mud here is extremely sticky here at Fresno. And they're getting tremendous traction, but it is Bigfoot by about 0.2 of a second winning it. We go now to semi number 2. This will bring out Spider-Man against Dragon Slayer. And the reason Dragon Slayer's back, he was the fastest loser in the heat races. So he goes up against his stepson, Paul Jensen, and hopes to pull off a win this time. That is Spider-Man on the left, Dragon Slayer on the right. Here's the start. Both very even up in the air. And for the second time, Spider-Man, Paul Jensen, defeats his stepfather, Dragon Slayer, 3.136 versus 3.161. Which sets the stage for the finals. Let's take a look at it down to the floor. That is Dragon Slayer getting up and over, but still losing. And now to the other side, that's Jensen, Spider-Man. Beautiful camera work, hits the ground, bounces a few times. We go down to the main event. Bigfoot against Spider-Man. This is Paul Jensen's first main event ever. And this could be very, very interesting. Dan Runte against Paul Jensen and Spider-Man. They get set, and again, let me remind you that that ground is getting extremely tacky. And they were worried earlier because of the traction, blowing transmission. It caused a problem with Monster Moose earlier. Let's see what happens now. Again, inside the cab of Bigfoot. That's his office, Dan Runte. This is the final, the main event in the straight line drags. Bigfoot on the right, Spider-Man on the left. Can Jensen upset Runte? Let's find out. Bigfoot launches off and goes way up in the air and maybe too high. Yes, Spider-Man takes it 3.043 against Bigfoot's 3.143. So Paul Jensen notches a win against Bigfoot. One more time. Here's a look at Runte's inside the cab. Shot. He gets so high. Launches himself into the stratosphere. Any higher, he's going to have an oxygen mask. Watch again. Down low, Jensen, a perfect drive, and Runte gets too high, and that's going to cost him. One more time, look at how high Bigfoot gets, and slams into the ground. That jarred his ancestors. The straight line drag results. Spider-Man takes it. Bigfoot second, Dragon Slayer, Monster Patrol, Kevin Harvick, and Monster Moose. Let's look at the point standings for straight line drags. Bigfoot leading with 109, Monster Patrol 108, Dragon Slayer third with 97. Let's go down to the floor in Elizabeth, and a very happy Paul Jensen.
All right, good job. You didn't have any problems at all tonight, all right?
No, I didn't. Our theory is small motor, small track, and it works out good for us.
You're kind of on a roll. Last night, was it your very first win?
Yeah, tonight was my first win in racing. Last night was my first win in freestyle, and it only goes up from here. So
it only goes up. What other events are here tonight that you're going to try and tackle?
Chicago style, I'm not very well known as doing good at that, but I'll give it my best. And then freestyle, you'll definitely see something special.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it. Good job.
Nice driving, Paul Jensen. We'll be back with more exciting action. This time, we go to the Chicago-style races in a circle here from SELLAND Arena in Fresno, California. Don't go away. Style races, the heat races, where each truck races each other 1.5 times over the cars. And this is Monster Patrol versus Kevin Harvick. There's the Monster Patrol. Paul Schaefer moves up on the line. He'll start on the right. Kid Rock, Amber Skywalker on the left. Here's the start. Oh, she gets off the cars and over into the motocross track, and that will slow her down. And Paul Schaefer sees that. He backs off just a little bit. That's a 2-second penalty for Amber Skywalker. seconds against Amber's 19.678. So an easy win for Paul Schaefer in the Monster Patrol. One more look at it. Let's look at how she starts and watch as she goes over to the left and goes off the cars. And she knows right now she's got a problem. And that's a penalty. And that's a tough break for young Amber Skywalker. The victory goes to Schaefer. Here's the start again. Now watch what happens as she veers over to the left. Goes all the way off the cars. Then goes into the motocross track, over the double jumps. And ladies and gentlemen, monster trucks are not supposed to go over double jumps. Let me tell you that right now. She realizes, she knows you got a problem, and Schaefer takes the victory. He slows down just a little bit, and takes the checkered flag. So first round goes to Monster Patrol. We go now to Bigfoot versus the Monster Moose. A look again at Dan Runty and Brad Campbell in the Monster Moose. This is Chicago-style racing. Heat race number 2. Brad Campbell says he likes this type of racing. There's a good shot of Dan Runty and Bigfoot launching off the line. It would definitely be an upset if Campbell could defeat Dan Runty. And right now he's looking pretty good. There's the Monster Moose. No mistakes at all. Beautiful graphics on that truck. The Outdoor Channel. Look at Bigfoot go. Whoa! Runty with a 14.821 against Campbell 15.164. Not a bad run for bad Brad Campbell. Another look at Runty. There are no mistakes in this guy. I mean, very seldom. Everything is smooth and fluid, and he knows what he's doing. Bob Chandler's Bigfoot, been around for 30-some years. This is about the 19th or 20th version of Bigfoot. There's a look at Campbell. Not a bad run for Campbell. Less than a second. That's not anything to be ashamed of, going up against Dan Runty and Bigfoot. You can see how much Campbell gets thrown around going over these cars. This Chicago-style racing. One more look at the start for the Monster Moose. This kid gets smoother every time he runs. He's picking up valuable experience. And it's tough to beat a veteran like Dan Runty. Let's see the second. Separates him at the checkered flag. No mistake. Again, the Summit Racing Bigfoot. Another look at him. Again, just everything is done right. He does not make mistakes. As I've said before, he's smoother than a mayonnaise sandwich. Heat race number 3, Spider-Man versus Dragon Slayer. Jensen against his stepfather, Craig Christensen. Well, these are fiberglass Hummers. I call them funny cars of monster truck racing. 1,500 plus horsepower. And the ground shakes when these guys come on the line, ready to go. Going over the car. Chicago-style racing, heat number 3. There's the start. Oh, that's a major mistake by Christensen. He knocks over the pylon. That's a 2-second penalty. And Jensen will take this one if he doesn't screw up. Nope, it's Spider-Man, 16.382 seconds. And Dragon Slayer, 18.212, which includes a 2-second penalty. There it is, right there. Knocks over that pylon. Can't do that. And that will cost Dragon Slayer, because that means he will not make the semi. That'll cost him a bunch of points. Tough break for Craig Christensen. Coming up next, semifinal action. It'll pit Monster Patrol against Bigfoot from SELLAND Arena and round 5 of the Monsters of Destruction. I'm Larry Huffman. Don't go away. It's SELLAND Arena in Fresno, California for round 5 of the Monsters of Destruction series. And coming up, Monster Patrol against Bigfoot. 2 wily seasoned veterans of the monster truck wars. And earlier we talked about the track and how sticky it was. Well, Paul Schaefer says it's not that, it's the inconsistency of the track. We talked to him earlier. This is what Paul had to say about the track here in Fresno.
Bakersfield was a pretty hooking track, you know, and big old Hemi rode good there. But here, it's kind of a wet track, but it's mushy, and you can't hook up. You know, it seems like you're hooking up in one part of the track, the other part you ain't getting no bite at all. The Hemi, I'm trying to short shift it, trying to hook it up, and if I shift too quick, I just buzz the tires. You know, it just bogs, and too much horsepower. Some of these Chevrolets with no horsepower, they're running good. The Ford, he's running good with no horsepower.
Well, Paul Schaefer, you're leaving yourself wide open because you're going up against Bigfoot. That 2,000 horsepower Hemi against the 1,500 horsepower Ford of Bigfoot. Chicago style racing, and look at Runny. It's like he heard what Schaefer said. Ha! And it is Bigfoot taking the victory, 14.471 against 14.789 seconds. And Bigfoot vanquishes the Monster Patrol. One more time, look at the start. Again, Runty doesn't make mistakes. Smooth. He's so consistent. No problems at all. And that long wheelbase, big heavy-powered Dodge of Schaefer has a little more trouble getting around here, but he stays within sight of him. There's the start for Monster Patrol. Paul Schaefer. Look at the long wheelbase, a much longer vehicle than the short wheelbase Ford. And Schaefer knows his way around this track. He is again making no mistakes himself, but he's burdened by the fact that he's got plenty of horsepower. That's not the problem. So the second and final semi here at Selland Arena will put Spider-Man up against Monster Moose. And there is Brad Campbell of the Monster Moose. Jensen has done incredibly well tonight. He won the straight line drags. He's looking good. He's feeling good. Let's see what he does now. Both off the line, smooth. And look at Campbell. He has come so far in such a short time. Out in, well, just about even. Almost in front. Here he goes. Oh, wait, we got a problem because Jensen goes all the way off the track and over a burn, and he loses it. And Monster Moose will take the victory, 14.904 against Spider-Man, 18.554. Another look at the inside of Brad Campbell's office. Look at all he's got to do. Front and rear wheel steering and front and rear wheel drive. He still manages to pull off a win against Jensen. That's not going to make Paul Jensen very happy. But that sets the stage for the main event. It'll be Bigfoot against the Monster Moose. One more time, Spider-Man getting up and over. No problem so far. Jensen is doing everything right. Getting around the first turn. I hit from the second turn. Now watch what happens here. A brain fade or something goes all the way off the track over the berm, and he knows he'd screwed up. He knows it. Comes back in, slows way down. He says, that's it. I'm not going to beat the truck up anymore. It's all over. Monster Moose goes to the main event. And he'll meet Bigfoot in the Chicago-style final. And this sets the stage for a replay of round number 3 in Bakersfield. Now remember back then, Brad Campbell, the Monster Moose, got a little bit next up, and turned the wheels the wrong way. Here's the start, main event, Bigfoot against the Monster Moose. Oh, and it happened again! Brad Campbell, I don't know if it's a pressure or what, but he turns the rear wheels the wrong way, and that gives the win on a silver platter to Dan Runty and Bigfoot. So Bigfoot takes it. The time, 16.617. We give you the Monster Moose time, we'd have to have a sundial. Let's take a look at it one more time. Dan Runty and Bigfoot, an easy victory for him. A mistake, a major mistake by the Monster Moose. Look at it one more time. Watch the inside camera. Goes around, and here's where it is. Turns the rear wheel to the wrong way, and he knows it. He knows it. And that's it for Brad Campbell. He goes home on the Greyhound bus. As Bigfoot takes the victory. And Dan Runty, again, he's smooth. He takes it. No mistakes. Let's take a look at the standings. Chicago-style results. Bigfoot, Monster Moose second by virtue of that little race there. Monster Patrol third. Spider-Man, Dragon Slayer, and number 29, Kevin Harvick, taking sixth spot. The point standings after round 5. Bigfoot with 120, Dragon Slayer second, 102, and Monster Moose with 87. Let's go down the field, and Elizabeth and a very happy Dan Runty.
We're becoming old friends. You keep winning. How's it going?
Actually, it's going really well. Summit Racing Equipment, like I said earlier, just jumped on board with this. We're real proud of that. I mean, it's awesome, but that turn course got a little tight. I mean, these guys are running harder and harder. You know, the further you get into these shows, you get used to the dirt, and everybody gets their truck set up the right way. So it makes it a little tougher.
But your truck's running smooth. There's no problems. You're looking good.
It's actually running smoother tonight than it did last night. You know, it was kind of driver error last night. We got this dirt figured out now. I think it's going to be a little tougher as we go on. I mean, got it going fast.
Coming up next from Selland Arena in Fresno, the crowd-pleasing freestyle competition where you, the fans, pick the winner. We'll be right back. Don't go away. On the action from Selland Arena in Fresno, a big part of the monster truck scene are the fans. And earlier in the week, the drivers will go out and do personal appearances. This gives a chance for the fans to see the drivers up close, to look, and it draws big crowds. Take it from Dan Runty. He talks about what it takes to go out and do a personal appearance with a monster truck.
Actually, as far as doing displays, we just do a lot of them. I mean, it's all part of the promotion.
But what makes it really cool is the fans actually get to walk up the truck. They get to spend a little bit of time with you asking about it. I mean, the kids are really cool because they walk up. For instance, this weekend we had one girl, they come across the parking lot, her and her mom, and her mom had a bet with her that she couldn't touch the top of the tire, you know, and they walked away laughing and giggling, and the little girl's laughing because she couldn't, of course. But it's a neat aspect just to be able to associate with your fans.
And the 93.7 KISS Country Street Team was busy also, going from appearance to appearance and handing out free prizes.
Right now we're actually giving away tickets for the Phrase That Pays for the Monster Truck Show at the SELLAND Arena at Fresno. I went to 4 different locations. I came back here, went to Walmart, came back here. We had a lot of fun doing it. We got to meet a lot of listeners. It was a lot of fun giving out tickets.
So it takes a lot of people to make a Monsters of Destruction event happen. Those are the small wheels that they use on the trucks to load them into the trailers, because they can't use the big monster truck wheels like this one because it would not fit in the trailer. So they weigh about 650, 700 pounds apiece. Behind the scenes, the fans still come. They want to look at these monster trucks up close, and they want to bring their kids to check things out. Here's, again, the small wheels we use to move around the trucks when they're not actually out on the track. And the drivers and the crew all joining together in making this thing happen. It's all part of Monsters of Destruction, and we go back to SELLAND Arena for more exciting action. Coming up now is Freestyle, a crowd favorite, and here is one of the favorites of Freestyle. This is KREG Christensen in the Tough Country Dragon Slayer. Now, how this works is simple. It's very basic. The drivers each get 90 seconds to go out and do their thing, and then the crowd reaction determines the winner. And here is Christensen of the Tough Country Dragon Slayer Hummer, and he likes to get the crowd seems to respond more when they get really high air, and look at that. He gets up about 6, 7 feet off the ground with those rear wheels. So they will do donuts, they'll do 360s, go over the cars, and the cars by this time have taken quite a beating because they've been through the Chicago style racing and now the beginning of freestyle. So they're pretty much flat. And again, there is no rhyme or reason to what they do. It's whatever the driver wants to do in freestyle competition, and then the applause of the crowd determines the winner. KREG Christensen has said he loves this type of competition. He likes to get out and show his stuff. And he almost showed his stuff in the cheap seats right there, almost went over the berm. He's got to be aware of where the walls are, because the drivers sometimes get a little carried away. Because he almost slams into Monster Patrol there, but saves him. This is very, very hard on the trucks because they are, as I said, basically hand-built machines, weighing about 5 tons. And that's it for Dragon Slayer. Now, he should step out in a moment, and he loves to wave to the crowd and get them turned on. Here he comes out. The crowd's waiting to applaud. KREG Christensen out of Utah. Look at this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Come on, I want to hear you. And they love him. They love him here in Fresno. Freestyle competition. Taking a look at it, slow motion. Now look at how far he gets off the ground and then slams back down. The funny car. Oh, my goodness. He's going to need an oxygen mask if he gets much higher. The crowd loves him to get straight up and down. We saw Amber Skywalker break the rear knuckle of her vehicle in Bakersfield. She was out for the weekend. There's Christian taking the accolades of the crowd. We go down to Frankenstein Monster Patrol and Paul Schaefer. Now, he has a bit of a disadvantage because it is such a long wheelbase vehicle. It's hard to get off the ground. And he was saying earlier he was having problems with the ground because it's so sticky in certain areas and so slick in other areas. 2,000 horsepower Hemi. He's got the horsepower. That's not the problem. Oh, getting a little sideways. That's okay. He can do that in freestyle. Spins around. He's doing a Winchell's donut spin around. There's so much to do inside the cab, though. You've got to control the speed, the throttle. You've also got to steer both the front and rear wheels. Schaefer's an old master at this. He's good. Goes over the motocross track in the middle. He's got the flashing lights on the cab of that. That's his own thing. He wanted to do that. In straight line drags, Chicago style racing, the objective is to keep the wheels on the ground, unlike this type of competition, freestyle, where you, the crowd, determine the winner. And he's waving at the crowd and trying to get the kids pumped up here. Look at him. Paul Schaefer loves to work the crowd. Frankenstein Monster Patrol. As he goes over the berm, he's taken his 90 seconds of glory. Let's take one more look at it in slow motion as he launches over the yellow cars. Oh my goodness, that'll jar his ancestors when he lands. One more time, trying to get that front end up in the air, but again, it's a longer wheelbase truck and not as easy to get up as, say, a Bigfoot or Dragon Slayer. So Paul Schaefer takes the applause from the crowd, and we'll be back with more exciting action. Coming up next, Monster Moose and Amber Skywalker, an exciting freestyle competition. And freestyle competition. I'm Larry Huffman, and coming up now, the Monster Moose of Brad Campbell. Now remember, Campbell made some mistakes earlier when he turned the rear wheels the wrong way, so he's out to redeem himself. This young kid out of Puget Sound, Washington, comes out on the Monster Moose, gets some serious air there, and seems to have everything working well now. Again, remember, this is the second round of competition for him. He started driving monster trucks at Bakersfield in rounds 1, 2, and 3. Oh, he gets some serious air and some serious landing there, too. Brad Campbell driving the Monster Moose, a favorite of the kids in the crowd. They love that. They love the graphics on this, that Monster Moose. That's what he's trying to do, is get some serious air and land on the rear wheels without going over backwards. It's extremely difficult, and he's come a long way in freestyle competition. Again, remember, the crowd will determine the winner. Campbell looking for some awesome air here, but it looks like he may have a problem. He's slowing way down, and there's something wrong with the Monster Moose. Oh, a tough break for Campbell. He's slowing way down. That's it for him. He's got the transmission, but it looks like the rear wheels are staying in one position. Well, that would do it for, it looks like, for Brad Campbell. Let's look again and see if we can see what happened. He's taken a tremendous beating, that truck is, when he lands. And there are some parts coming off the back of that truck. Look at them flying off the back. And that's a problem. That's a mechanical breakdown, it looks like. Let's look at it from another angle. Watch the rear end. There are the parts flying off. Oh, tough break for Campbell, Brad Campbell. And here comes Amber Skywalker in the number 29 Kid Rock Kevin Harvick monster truck, owned by Paul Schaefer. Now she had a big problem at Bakersfield where she got straight up and down and landed and broke the rear knuckle of the rear end, and that was it. She was out for the weekend. So I think Paul Schaefer probably talked to her and said, "Kid, don't go for such height." Amber Skywalker, the crowd favorite here at SELLAND Arena in Fresno. It goes over and off the berm. Now, she can do that. She's not going to be penalized in freestyle because, as I said, they have 90 seconds to do what they want. The crowd reaction determines the winner. No mistakes yet from Amber. But not getting that high with that the Kid Rock truck. She's got to get some serious air if she wants to take the victory here tonight in Fresno. Looks to be something wrong with that truck because Amber is slowing way, way down. I believe she has some mechanical problems with the Kid Rock number 29. Yeah, this is not like Amber. She's running over a hay bale, which is also not like Amber. She backs up. Eating up precious seconds of the 90 seconds allocated for this freestyle competition. But there's definitely something wrong with the truck, because Amber usually comes out a lot faster than this. Another run at the center. not very high. Kevin Harvick, number 29, also known as the Kid Rock truck. And I believe that's it for Amber. Look at the crowd respond. They like this. They like this young lady very much. She unhooks the harness, the 5-way harness. Steps out, waving to the crowd. But you can tell she's not real happy. Usually she stays out a little bit longer. Taking another look at it. But slowing way down. Riding on the rear wheels. Another look. A little bit more air that time. But there's definitely a problem with Amber Skywalker's number 29 monster truck here at Fresno. We're seeing Monsters of Destruction freestyle competition, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Coming out now for freestyle. Now, Dan Ruddy usually does pretty well in this. I think Bob Chandler, the owner of Bigfoot, says don't break it, but put on a good show. And Ruddy usually does just that. So Dan Ruddy and Bigfoot coming out now, and the crowd has been watching Bigfoot for, what, 30 years. They know what the truck can do, and they love to see the competition. So Ruddy, based in St. Louis, Missouri, with the big blue and white Ford flags flying from the back of that bed. Summit Racing Suspension, brand new sponsor for Bigfoot. 90 seconds through the mud, the blood, and the beer here in Selland Arena, and the crowd determines the winner of freestyle. Some of the drivers like this, some of the drivers don't really like this. They like the straight line drags of the Chicago style competition. But Ruddy will go out and do his best in just about any type of competition. Look at this, getting really up there. The wheels spinning as he drops back on the yellow cars. And Ruddy's putting on a show, and the crowd is responding. Dan Ruddy, the driver of Bigfoot. Looking good in the freestyle competition here in Fresno. This is round 5 of Monsters of Destruction, and we're in the final part of the show, the freestyle competition. Oh, Ruddy destroys some hay bales. That's not a penalty. He can do that. The show that they put on is the main thing, and the crowd responds to the winner. There you've got Dan Ruddy and Bigfoot. He gets out, always takes the accolades of the crowd. They respond well. Look at the cervical collar he's got around his neck because they take such a beating. So Dan Ruddy heads back to the pits, and we bring up the final competitor in freestyle competition here at round 5 at Selland Arena. But first up, let's take a look at Ruddy and the inside of the cab. Look at his head get slammed around. We'll see what the crowd thinks of Dan Ruddy's exhibition of crazy driving here at the end of the evening when they determine the winner. Monster trucks are the funny cars of this type of competition. Extremely lightweight fiberglass bodies and 1,500 to 2,000 horsepower running on methanol. Always a beautifully prepared truck. Look at the graphics on the Summit Racing equipment. The monster truck of Bigfoot. And there's Ruddy again, waving to the crowd. They love him. So the stage is set for the final competitor, and this is Spider-Man in freestyle competition. Paul Jensen, the driver, the big man, coming out. Let's see what Spider-Man can do. Now, he likes this type of competition. He likes to get crazy. And you got to wonder what KREG Christensen, his father-in-law, says when he watches him beat this truck up. Although Christensen has said, I don't care what he does, I don't care what I do. We can build a new body. That's not a problem. I want to put a show on for the fans, and I've told him, go for it. So let's see what Paul Jensen. Oh, my goodness, look at that. He almost hit the roof of the Selland Arena with that one. He had to get 15 feet in the air, those front wheels. And he's putting on a show, and the crowd loves it. Jensen driving Spider-Man. Oh my goodness, almost going over on his side. He landed a little crooked on the right side. And he does not slow down a bit. Paul Jensen looking for that applause from the crowd because the crowd determines the winner in freestyle competition. Again, almost going over. Getting a little sideways this time to the left. Excellent camera work by our Scott McLemore crew here at Selland Arena. You got to be watching what's going on at all times because you've got those trucks right in front. You've got to slow down and not hit them. So Jensen, the crowd already starting to applaud before he gets out. They like that. They like the show that Paul Jensen put. I think he's won the freestyle competition. The crowd is cheering. One more time, let's take a look back at Paul Jensen in Spider-Man. Look at him get up there, the front wheels 15 feet in the air. And lands, and we've seen him go over on their heads. He manages to save it that time. Watch again. This time landing and almost going over to the left, then to the right. And with the big air he's got, Spider-Man takes the victory.
You won the freestyle again tonight. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. You're totally on a roll. What's up?
I don't know. Freestyle is my favorite thing to do, and I just like to go wild and give the fans a good show. I know that's what 99% of the fans here are for, is freestyle and not necessarily racing. So
You totally gave him a good show. You were flying in the air. You had tons of air. Your wheels were up high. It was awesome.
thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's adrenaline rush for me. I have the greatest job in the world.
We're proud of you. Good job.
So in round 5, it's Paul Jensen taking 2 out of 3. The straight line drags and the freestyle. And BIGFOOT takes the win of the Chicago style racing. I'm Larry Huffman for Monsters of Destruction. Round 5 from Fresno, California at Selland Arena. Thanks for joining us.